And now, introducing the new SneakyG Man store on SD. All you got to do, go on to SD, type in SneakyG Man store, and you could get your very own Are You My Malacca shirt, Samsung cell phone case, or just a cap or a beanie. Let's go Giants. Ow. Hey guys, I appreciate you wanting to enjoy the show. First, I got to give a Hey guys, I appreciate you wanting to enjoy the show. First, I got to give a couple shout outs. First off, I want to give a shout out to dresscomfy.com. She has the latest and greatest for SneakyG Man merch. So please, check it out, dresscomfy.com. Also want to give a shout out to 3 a.m. Water Hydration for the go-getters. Natural spring water. Go get it. Now let's go do the damn thing. Before we do the damn thing, I got to give a shout out to George's Trophies, aka Sergeant M replica trophies. Guys, Father's Day coming up soon. This is the perfect gift. Matter of fact, this is the perfect gift for any occasion. I mean, who wouldn't want a replica Super Bowl trophy of their team? The team that got the ultimate prize, the Lombardi Trophy. So when you get a chance, go to his Facebook page, George's Trophies, a.k.a. Sergeant M's replica trophies. Now, we gonna do the damn thing.
You're listening to Make It Count, the SneakyG podcast on Northeast.
Oh, no. No. Is this thing on?
It's your boy Stefan, a.k.a. SneakyG.
Yeah. Lyrical assassin.
Let's go Giants. Ow! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Stefan, a.k.a. SneakyG. Man, what's going on, everybody? So last week we had a phenomenal show with a giant great Tiki Barber, leading rusher for the New York Football Giants. He came on and I gave my apology, took back every negative thing I said about him. And we talked about the journey through the Super Bowl. Now, unless you lived under a rock, we are at Super Bowl weekend. I mean, we're like one day away, meaning, the weekend's going to start. And then, of course, as soon as I don't know about you guys, but these last 2 weeks, you got the bye week and then you got the game. It's just such a buildup, and time is going by so slow that when the game hits, in a blink of an eye, it's over. And NFL history is made. Another champion is crowned. This time I'm hoping it's the Chiefs. Go Chiefs. That's what I'm going for, guys, if you're asking. And so I want to address something real quick. So yes, Giants fan number 10. There's a former Cowboy player who's coming on the show tonight, and no, Chris, I don't need ratings. Okay. I enjoy my 25 views each show. All right. Thank you for that. But before I waste this guy's time anymore, and look, and if there's one thing I can say positive about the Dallas Cowboys is my friend Jeffcoat.
Who said I was your friend? You paid me to come on here.
Well, you weren't supposed to tell everybody that. And I was supposed to be there, and the check is already in the mail, so I can't take it back. I can't take it back. Jim, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on. And those of you that know, yes, he knows I hate the Dallas Cowboys. He knows that.
But you're an undercover lover of the Cowboys, and you have a cowboy tattoo that you never show.
I do not. Yeah, it's not. No, and I do not have a. I see. I'm trying to make this
one with the 5.
I'm trying to make this a PG show, and I can tell you, yeah, you know where that Cowboy star would be at, but I won't even pay that much.
I can't help it. You always tell me, man. He said the reason I hate the Cowboys, I really don't, but is because I wanted to play for them.
Lies
for them.
Now wait, maybe I wanted me to be as your quarterback, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that. No, we'll talk about. So, as of course, I know the Super Bowl is in the what 4 days away.
Yes,
and you won 2 back to back.
Back to back. I sent you a little clip of me at the speaking at the first.
Okay. I'll check that out when I get it next, and I'll share it if you like for me to.
Yeah.
So this week, now of course, the Super Bowl now is different from when it was back in the early 90s, right?
No question.
Now whatever which one you want to talk about the most, the first or the second, because they say the first one's always the sweetest. Okay.
That is true.
The week leading up to, we'll say the Rose Bowl, that was the first one. Tell us what the players went through that week.
Well, we first came in on a Sunday afternoon, and we stayed in Santa Monica at the Santa Monica Marriott. So we were right on the water and everything. We were right there, and Jimmy Johnson had gave us Monday and Tuesday off to do whatever you want, hang out and everything.
Get it out your system.
Get it out of our system. Have some fun. And being in LA, obviously, we want to have fun. I mean, you're in Hollywood and stuff, right, and you're the stars now. So we went out and hung out there. But when Wednesday we practiced over at UCLA, it was on. It was probably, at the time, the best practices we've had all year. We've had great practices, but for whatever reason, that couple of days, and we had Charles Haley, who had been to Super Bowls with the 49ers. So he understood the significance of practicing and preparing the right way. And we had no issues. We had no issues getting guys. Nobody was late for curfew or anything. I mean, they were ready. And then by the end of the week, the last day, we let our families come in Wednesday, and they stayed with us. But on Saturday, we went to like one of these old famous Hollywood hotels that nobody knew where we were. We were away from family. We were away from everybody, and just preparing. It was just us, the team. And I'll never forget what Jimmy said, is to cherish this moment, because you never know if you'll ever get a chance to go this path again. And he was right. I mean, it took me 10 years to get to my first Super Bowl. And he's right. You never know if you're going to travel that road again.
So and I remember the progression of the, what was it? The 92, 93. No, okay. Cause your first one was 92, 93, right?
Yes.
A lot of people say you guys came out of nowhere. But there was so from the 1-15 Cowboys to the following year, y'all made the playoffs.
Yes, we did.
And I think you lost.
Actually, we missed the playoffs by one game.
Oh, the next year.
Yeah, we were 79 in 90. And then in 91, which was incredible, we built a monster.
Yeah.
And obviously there were things that helped us, the Herschel Walker trade, some of the draft picks that we got and everything, but we built the monster. And we built it and having the right coach at the right time, and Jimmy Johnson also helped us. He was he knew how to get the most out of players, and he knew how to let them play.
And you lost in the divisional round to the Lions, if I'm not mistaken.
Detroit Lions, Barry Sanders.
Yeah, and that was the now if we're going to talk about the Lions, that was the last time they've ever played in the first and last time they've ever played in a conference championship game.
Yeah.
And then of course they lost to the Redskins.
Yes.
And then Redskins went on to beat the Buffalo Bills in that Super Bowl.
Yes.
Now, coming into the next year, potentially your Super Bowl year, did you guys knew you guys were going to win it all? Or did you guys know that you had the potential?
We had the potential. We knew that because we came off of that and we had lost to Detroit, like you said, and Barry Sanders was being Barry Sanders. I mean, if you are not on Barry Sanders highlight film, then you never played in the NFL.
Wait, are you on a highlight film with Barry Sanders?
I'm on this. Everybody in the era shoot. If you play defense, everybody's on that.
Well, not as bad. And I'll tell you what. I can't recall seeing your number, but that one run that Barry Sanders did where he made that Patriot runner, that Patriot DB look stupid. I'm pretty sure he didn't make everybody look that.
He made everybody look stupid. It was just like trying to catch a chicken and obviously in a chicken coop. I mean, he was incredible, the tackle. Now, when we got really good, we trapped him. We still didn't hold him down. He still got over 100 yards, but he was one of the few that got over 100 yards on us, but he was a very special player. I mean, he was unbelievable when you played against him. And after that, we didn't lose to him again after that time. So, but I have all the respect in the world for Barry Sanders.
My favorite running back of all time.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite. I mean, I still have his cards from back in the day. So you guys went on this crazy run in 92. And you went 13-3. You won the NFC East. And you meet up with the 49ers in the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
You were considered the underdog in that game.
Yeah, we thought we were a year. They thought we were a year away. But you had to realize is that the head coach of the Cowboys, like I always talk about, is Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson won national championships and possibly should have won another one against Penn State, and they lost. Joe Paterno really outcoached them, and he would tell you that till today. They had the opportunity to win it, and they didn't win it because they had Testaverde instead of using Alonzo Highsmith. But he knew how to win championships, and he knew how to prepare his players to win championships. And once we got to that point, he wasn't going to let that opportunity slip away.
But what I want to bring up, and what I remember of those years, the Cowboy 49er games, the winner of the regular season game hosted the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
And you guys beat him at home that year.
Yeah. But I think we had one less loss than they did.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're
no.
right. I'm sorry, because you played them in Candlestick Park. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So you went on that run. You beat the 49ers. And then after this, of course, we could talk about the Super Bowl too. The speech that Jimmy Johnson, I recently saw this because when this last Cowboys team beat Tampa, although we can admit Tampa was not a strong team.
No, they were.
When they beat Tampa, they brought that whole interview up about the 92 and the 93 Dallas Cowboys, and how when Jimmy gave his speech, and at the end of the speech, that mantra, how about them Cowboys, came out and all hell broke loose. When you heard that for the first time, try to give us a vivid feeling that you had? Like, just go ahead. Like, what was that feeling when he said, "How about them Cowboys"?
Well, if you were around that team, nobody expected, just like you said, us to be that good that fast. They thought we were a year away, but we had the confidence. We had extreme confidence. In the middle of our locker room, we had this stagecoach, and we had horses pulling it, and we had people jumping on and jumping off. And that's how we looked at it. People are going to jump on, they're going to jump off, but we're always going to be there. And that's how Jimmy put it. And he built something different. He built us to believe in ourselves. And that's why when he said he had said that before, he didn't have said it publicly, but he was talking about how about them Cowboys. He said, we are them Cowboys. And he would give us extreme confidence. And that's just the way he was. He believed that we could do anything that we put our minds to.
So you beat the Buffalo Bills horribly. That year, obviously, I was going for the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And
but secretly you were going for the Cowboys. I understand.
Yeah. True story. I actually had friends that came over that were Cowboy fans because I was bragging. My dad would always make these hot wings, and they were good. I don't even know how he did them. And when you guys were up, I think it was like it was before the Bills got 17 points. I don't know. I know it wasn't even a game anymore. We went out. I tried to pull them away from the TV so we could go play football in the streets. But that's either here nor there. Because I'm like, guys, the game's over. We don't need to watch I remember saying that. So we don't need to watch anymore. Let's go outside and play some football. Because, it wasn't even a game. And the fact that Don Beebe stopped Leon Lett, you guys already went down as, a large win margin, if you will.
Yeah, because
you guys would have had the record for the most points in the Super Bowl
at that time. And I sacked Frank Wright on that play that Leon.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, so now is the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, formerly a head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. So but we were different. That whole team was different. When you walked into that locker room, it was different. When you walked on that field in practice, our practices were more intense than our games. That's how much confidence and pride we had. Nobody wanted to lose, not at any position. They didn't want to go in there and watch film and say that they lost, because you would hear it, and we were accountable to each other, which is unique in a team. We were brothers. And still are.
Yeah. So now everybody talks about their moment with the Lombardi Trophy. What was your moment like with the Lombardi in hand?
Well, my moment is having my oldest son, Jaron, there, and having him the opportunity to be there in the locker room and to hold the Lombardi Trophy. That was pretty cool to me. And he was still young at the age. He was only like 4 or 5 years old, but he understood the significance of that.
Is this the one? Is this the one that played CFL?
No, that's my youngest son, Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Baby. He was a baby at that time. He may have been 1.5, but Jaron was the one who was always with me in the locker rooms, and he got an experience that most children will never have.
Right. And what did that mean to you? Being in the league as long as you have, to now, you got it. You got what everybody's been chasing. Was there a moment of relief, or was it kind of? I remember when Brett Favre won it, and they showed that little football documentary of the season. His thing was, "This is it. This is it." So was it like a relief, or kind of was it like this, like a letdown?
No, it wasn't, because here's the thing. When you're in the league, I was in the league for 10 years before I got to my first Super Bowl. And when you see those F-16s fly over and fly low, like, I'll be darned. We're here. We're in the biggest game in our lives. As far as professional football, it's the biggest game in our lives. And then you, at halftime, you see Michael Jackson running through your locker room. I mean,
Wait, you saw Michael Jackson running through your locker room?
Yeah. He went, ooh. He was running through our locker rooms. I mean, stuff like that. And the whole week was like, it was unreal because you never thought the experience would be like that. You imagine it, but you never realized what the experience was like playing in the Super Bowl, and especially in a place like the Rose Bowl because it's a big,
Right.
it's old, and things like that. And there's so much history there. So that was pretty cool.
Well, yeah. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to bring on a couple Cowboy fans on, real quick. You already met Chris, but let's bring on. Allow me to butt in.
What's happening, y'all?
What's up?
Allow me to, if you don't mind me, to introduce you to. I don't know if you know him, Jeffcoat. Jim Jeffcoat.
Yeah, man. I think I know Jim Jeffcoat. That's wild, dude. That's wild. I love how you got the Cowboys on your show. I think Chris might be right.
Hey, look. You can never say I never did nothing nice for y'all. Never say nothing I did nothing nice for y'all.
Jim, I mean, honestly, man, it's an honor. It's a privilege. It's super cool. Sneaky, I appreciate you even having me on, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. What question you got for him?
Honestly, man, I got a few, man, because I know you've got some stories about what happened back in the 90s with these Cowboys. And I mean, you've been playing in the league for a hot minute by then. And I mean, you were still crucial to this team, which was, I mean, you know, they brought on Haley, they brought on Tolbert, and you still led the team in sacks. So it's just one of those things where it's like, man, man, I don't even know where to start, but it's like, how was it in that locker room, just knowing how much potential that team had, and like, just, I guess, what was one of the craziest moments you remember from that season?
Well, it was really in training camp. I mean, we were having a normal practice. Our practices, like I told Sneaky, were very intense. And we had this thing we call middle drill. And it was 12 plays, full contact, tackle. And it didn't, Troy Aikman was in it, Emmett was in it, and you couldn't run outside the tackles. You had to run inside the tackles. And you couldn't bounce out. And it was brutal. It was war. If we gave up 2 yards, there was hell to pay. I mean, that's how we played, and that's our mindset. We were the number 1 defense in the NFL at that time, and that's why, because, I mean, it was so competitive, and you knew we were going to be good because how people competed and how they played in practice. It went over into the games. The games were easy. The tempo was slower than those practices because we did that. And I mean, it was a war, and you knew that you better be prepared to go there. And the guys that couldn't handle it wouldn't be there for very long.
Was Jimmy as cutthroat, like as it seems? Because it seemed like he could be like your best friend, but when it came down to that moment, it was like, you better be ready.
Well, and also let me add on to that, Jim. And this might be I mean, you can push on this question if you want. You don't have to answer. You know how Jimmy has his guys, right?
I know.
Were you one of his guys?
I'll tell you this. Jimmy did have his guys. I could tell you a story. When my ex-wife came to training camp, he knew she was there, and he would let me go spend the night with her. He said, hey, don't worry about curfew. Your wife's in town, do things, because I was one of his guys.
Okay.
Now, there's certain players, he wouldn't let that happen. Mm-hmm. But he'd come in a meeting. We had an incident. We had clinched the NFC East, and we lost to Washington. And a certain player was on there after the game when we were going home back to Dallas, and he was getting loud. And Jimmy came in there and got after him. And after the next morning in the meeting, he said, hey, I'm not going to ever change. He said, I don't like losing, and I don't want to lose. Yeah. And he said, but I want to let you know, some players have this much leeway with me, and some players have that much leeway with me. He said, I have my guys. And he said, I know my guys will run through walls for me. He said, the other guys, you're on borrowed time. So you better be right, because I know my guys and I know what they do. And he was right about that. If you were one of his guys, it was like heaven. I mean, we would run these things called suicide drills down there. It was basically to run down 60 yards and break down on the punt returner. And everybody had to do it. After about 2 plays, he'd tell me and Tony Tober, that we're done. He said, if you got to run 60 yards, he said, then we're in big trouble. And he would always do that. He'd take us out of it and make sure we didn't have to do it because we were his guys. And he would always say, as long as I'm here, you will be here because you're my guys.
So allow me to butt in. No pun intended, but allow me to butt in. I do got to go on to other people. Now, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if Chris had mentioned this to you, but when you come on the show and you give your spiel and you get off the show, you got to say my outro.
Yeah, I can say that.
Well, no, not you, Jim. You still have a few minutes. I just had to explain it to allow me to butt in. Do you happen to know what the outro is?
I'm pretty sure, but I'm not saying that.
You just have to put a little flavor into it.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Chris, can you just explain?
You didn't tell me that, Chris.
Let's make it quick because we got more people and we only got Jim for a short time.
You didn't tell me that.
So, Chris,
Rue, this is what I do. Okay, so I preface it first with my team. I always say Dallas Cowboys for life. Okay, so everybody know where I'm coming from, and then I'll do the Let's Go Giants. Hey, his show, his rules. You know, when he came on our show the first time, I had to tell him, hey, Dallas Cowboys for life, before you get off of here.
Yeah, but there was no outro.
I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up 25 minutes from, at that time, it was the Meadowlands. It's MetLife Stadium now.
Yeah.
So I say, let's go, Little Giants.
Now,
so hey, Rue, it don't even hurt me anymore because we already know where our allegiance lie. Because Sneaky is truly a Cowboy fan. He has more Cowboys on this show than we do. And we have a show, and we don't even have Cowboys on our show.
I have more Cowboys show on your show than tonight.
Yeah, you always say that. Hey, Jim, have you been on this show about four times now, right?
Yeah, quite a bit. And I
quite a bit. So my whole thing is you got these Cowboys on there.
Okay, so he forgot that I got the mute button. He forgot that I got the mute button. So, Rue, you already.
Real quick, and I got on the cool. I was just trying to make sure I wasn't getting put together.
Chris, I'll be back with you. Don't worry. He forgot I got the mute button. But go ahead.
All right, I had to make sure I wouldn't get put together. But in all,
wait. Let me back it up. And this is what I do, right? And the reason, I'll make it quick because I don't want to take too much of Jim's time. The thing is, when everybody says the outro, everybody does. Now, what I won't do, I will not clip this and put it on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or anything, because if you give me the respect of saying it, then I'm definitely going to give you the respect of not putting you on blast. So
that's what's up. And I will say, you do that. I know it's you when I hear it. Like you've coined that. And it's definitely one of the things where it's like, man, he owns that. Like that's sneaky. Like if anybody else tried that, I'd be like, no. Hey, that's sneaky.
Hey, now hold on. Now, just so you know, I may clip that because that's classic. That's classic. And I won't. Okay,
that's fine. That's fine. You can have. I don't care.
Okay,
because
all
that's
right.
the truth, and that's it is what it is. You gotta respect him. But in honor of the Super Bowl champion, man, how about them Cowboys? I appreciate you, Jim, man. It's been a pleasure. I hope I get to talk to you again. And
sure.
Let's go, Giants.
You got to say the ow.
Ow.
Okay, first time I'll take that. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. I'm enjoying this. I'm gonna enjoy this. Hold on. Let me get G on here. Now, G, you know the rules, right? You know the rules. So
hello, Jim. How you doing, man? It's a pleasure and honor to see you, man.
All right.
It's man, I'm telling you, I was a witness. I witnessed the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm that old, but it would be
Yeah.
great to see another one. But I was a witness.
Hopefully, we see another one in my lifetime.
Exactly. So man, Sneaky G, thank you, man. Thank
of
you
course.
for hosting this Cowboys segment tonight.
Oh my! Well, you know what? Tonight, y'all can't say I never did nothing nice for y'all. So that's all I'm gonna say about that.
It's Christmas in February.
There you go.
Even though Jim is in denial, he is my friend. So it's
I'm not in denial. I'm not. Sometimes you got to pay people to be your friends, and you pay.
I told you not to say anything.
Agree. I agree. I mean, hey, this is a great surprise, man. As far as what we do over here as Cowboys, you can tell I'm definitely a diehard Cowboy fan, and along with Sneaky G and Jim yourself as well.
see, all the stuff is really coming out now. We gotta have. We gotta have. It's just like the Chinese with the spy balloon. We gotta have the spy in another tank. And so you spying on the Giants.
Oh my God! What's your question, G? We got to move on.
Okay, no,
you're lucky I can't find my toilet paper here.
I know it, and I'm getting ready for the mute button. I know it's coming because I've done it to him several times, so I'm sure it's good. So here's my question. Like I said, I was a witness to watch the '92. I was born and raised as a Cowboy fan. But my question to you, and I know you went through the transition. So what?
I had to do that. I had to do it to him because he's right. He did do it to him a couple times. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, go ahead, G. All right, I'm good. Hey, we even now.
He waited for that, Jim. I'm sorry.
I waited.
This is an inside joke here. I host the show and he hosts the show, so he that's the only reason he wanted me on here tonight, just to do that.
Hey, all I did was tell Chris. I said, Chris, you tell who you want to tell. This is just bonus. But go ahead.
Okay. So now my question to you, Jim, is the transition from the Landry era to the Jimmy Johnson era. How was that? Was that a big leap?
It was big. The biggest thing is Coach Landry did everything. He designed, obviously, the flex defense. He designed the offense too. That's why they had the hitch and everything. Coach Landry designed. And on our meetings on Monday, they would be about 6 or 7 hours, and he would critique every position. I mean, that was how Coach Landry was. He critiqued because he knew the offense and defense better than everybody, and the guy was a genius. Where Jimmy was different. Jimmy let his coaches coach, and the thing about Jimmy that was so special, he was a tremendous motivator. He would have about it. And that's not just saying, but Coach Landry, from being his playing days and coaching days, was that common force where Jimmy would have everybody, you ready to run through walls and things like that because of all the energy.
Wow. So is it true that Randy White, he was one that went through the transition as well, but because of the practices, it was more like, hey, is there any?
He was later in his career. Randy was later in his career, and I played with Randy for quite a few years, and he had neck issues.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened. His neck was bothering him, and it was intense practices. And I'm sure at his he was at that age where he said, forget this. This is, and that's a Hall of Famer. But at some point, your body tells you that it's time to let it go.
Right. Okay. So here's another question. So,
and I'll let you slide another question because I muted you in the beginning. But go ahead. What you got? Go ahead.
Okay. So let me make this a good question. Let's see. Okay. I got a couple. I got notes here. I'm gonna give one more. So let me ask you this now. this defense that you played for versus the defense that you see today. I mean, you know, it's more like the quarterbacks wear flags now because you can't, you know what I mean? So with that being said, your defense in today's game, I think you guys would probably be really upset because of the no takedown rule.
That's true. They tried to do that, if you remember, within our during that time. You can, if you grabbed the quarterback, then the play was over, and then they changed it again. It's a totally different. I couldn't play today. I mean, you get penalty when you sack a quarterback, when you bring them to the ground.
Yeah,
I would be going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and the quarterback can fall on you, and you still get a penalty. And that's, I mean, to me, it's not football. I mean,
right.
Why people ask me all the time when you talk about great quarterbacks, Tom Brady is a great quarterback.
Right.
But Joe Montana went through harder things. He got hit. Quarterbacks back then got hit. Phil Simms and guys
Roger Staubach.
Roger Staubach and guys, Troy Aikman. Tom Brady, because of the rules, the way the rules are, didn't get hit like them. So it's a totally different game.
True. Well, hey, I appreciate it, Jim. You know, hey, thanks a lot, man, for being a part of this Cowboy stream tonight.
Yeah, okay. That being said, G, let me hear it one time.
You gotta say it.
Out of respect, because you had me on tonight, I'm going to say, let's go Giants.
Oh, I appreciate you, brother. All love. Just so you know, and I'm gonna bring Chris up here. G, thank you so much, man. So G, Dallas Cowboy Chris, and allow me to butt in. They do, and Armando 21 Armando 21. Shout out. They do a show every Wednesday, the Cowboy Huddle. And I come on once in a while, you know, just to spoil some grapes, you know, shake the cage.
No, it's good. NFC East, except for Philly. I mean, I'm here for everybody.
Yeah. And that other, I don't even know what the name of the other team is.
Yeah, they changed. Commanders, they were Commodores, they were
the football team.
Yeah, they played for that team. You know, I still love them because blood is thicker than water. But
right.
You know, I was glad when that little episode was over.
So now here we go, Cowboy Chris.
What's up, Chris? How about
Jim? What up, Jim? See, Jim, he mutes me because he know my mouth is just as big as his. That's number one. That's why he mutes me.
Hey, mine's a little bit bigger, just a little bit, not too much.
Okay, it may be a little bit bigger, but I can compete with you. Okay, I'm not afraid of the great and powerful, sneaky damn G. Okay, I can do this with you, bro. You know that, Jim. First of all, once again, it is a pleasure to be back on the show with you. Now, let me formally do this because Gary was supposed to do this. Now, Gary is the leader of our show. It is his show, the Dallas Cowboy Huddle, on Wednesday nights on YouTube. We would love for you to come on a real show that talk about real football with real Cowboy fans. So if you would love to come on, we would love to send you that invitation. Now, Stephen,
I'm right here.
We have a show at 7 on.
That's right. That's right. You do. You do have that show on stuff. That's why I never really just came out and asked you because I knew you do a Wednesday night show also.
Yeah, we do it. Me and Byron Williams.
Yeah.
But when we do it on Mondays, because we have a What's Up Monday too, I'll shoot you an email. Okay. Look.
Sounds good.
Stephen, thanks again for letting me know. When you have great on.
Just so you know, when Jim, when you agreed to do this, and we agreed to the dollar amount, Chris was the first person that came to mind. So right when you said yes, I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and let Chris know. You know, but go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I love my Cowboys. I love them. I remember when I remember when they drafted you, Jim, and I was just like, he was a pretty good college player. I wonder if he's going to give us that. And And when Jim, when you add up, this is something that I actually learned from Stephen. And this is the guys that honor true. And me and Gary was talking about this before we even came on the show. I said, Gary, do you know how many sacks Jim Jeffcoat got? And he said, Chris, I don't know. I said, you know, Jim Jeffcoat got over 100 sacks. He said, oh my God. I said, the total blatant disrespect for a man that has 100 sacks is not in my ring of honor and not in my Pro Football Hall of Fame. I am an advocate for you, Jim, because that's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do in the NFL to have 100 sacks. Okay. So
I'm going to be honest with you, Chris. The problem is I sacked Phil Simms too many times. The
New York bias.
Hold that against me.
The New York bias. I knew it was some reason why, Jim.
Look.
I knew it was a reason. I knew it.
Look, I know we got a lot of love for Phil Simms. You know, God knows I do. I got his autographed jersey. I mean, and this is the reason why I love the Giants so much is because of that man. And LT and now Tiki Barber, who was on the show last week.
And Leonard Marshall.
Leonard Marshall too, which he was supposed to be on, but I didn't have time to give him the heads up.
It's too late.
So
That's 9 something.
It's too late, but he is in our Ring of Honor. He just got in. He got in this season, and I'm glad to say I was there to be there. And you know, Jim, because you're my friend, when you get put in the Ring of Honor, which in my opinion, it's only a matter of time, I will be there in support.
If you come, which I know you will, do not put up that sign that you put up about the Cowboys. Because we will run you out of the stadium.
Like, what do you mean? The sign that I had to change to 28 years instead of 27? For you, I won't bring that sign. Not that game.
Jim, you know, and they always talk about our us being relevant and everything, but then when I bring up 11-1 against the Giants, he don't want to talk about that. Okay, he don't want to talk about it.
What you should be talking about.
You know, he don't want to talk about
11.
He likes to change the subject because that's what he's trying to do now. He's
I'm keeping it real
to something else. But you know, hey, I tell him, I said, man, whenever the Giants need ratings, they play the Cowboys, and they probably the highest rated game of the season. You know how it goes. How Thanksgiving was, how the Monday night game was. You know, we bring relevance to the Giants. Okay, so he always trying to make it seem like we're not relevant. Oh, whatever, brother. Anyway,
what were the highest rated games this year on national television?
Cowboy game. The game against the Niners, the playoff game. Okay. The Thanksgiving game against the Giants and the game against Philly.
Wait. And the Minnesota Vikings game got huge ratings too.
Yes.
That we won the playoff game. Come on now. Don't sleep on it. So we don't need the Cowboys for the ratings.
Your ratings suck.
We good.
It's just like your personal ratings. You decided to boost your audience because you said, let me get Jim Jeffcoat on and all these Cowboy fans. I'm going to get a lot more people on.
Yeah. But here's the thing about when you look at it, to be honest with you, when the Giants and the Cowboys are good, it's good for the NFL.
Yeah.
It is.
Philly, yeah. You know, Philly's good, and you got to give them credit. But Philly loves Philly.
Right.
But around the country, people love it when the Giants, Cowboys, even Washington, when they're good, people enjoy that.
Right. Well, this is my one question, and I know Sneaky got a lot of people that want to come on. So this is my one question. When you played in the NFL, what team did you hate to play against the most?
Hate to play against?
Yes.
Let me think about this. Really hated to play against was the LA Rams because they had Eric Dickerson. And Eric
Dickerson, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Eric Dickerson. And he would always break your ankles because he was so cool. And he didn't run like a traditional running back. He was a high stepper.
Right.
He hit that edge, and then when they ran that student body right or left, and he was something. He was there. and then your Detroit Lions with Barry Sanders.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, once again, man, thank you so much.
Hold on, Chris. You can sit down for a little bit. So let me ask you this right now. What I noticed this year, well, first we do have a question from Kurtz. He says, Jim, how did it feel to lift the Lombardi Trophy?
It felt good. Here, let me show you. I'll get one and
yeah, grab it.
Hey, go. You might want to get the dust off it. You might have to dust it first, but you know.
But no, good. After all those years of playing and getting the opportunity to lift it was a tremendous feeling. You know, you get that opportunity. It's something that you'll cherish for your lifetime, and they can't take it away from you. They can take everything else away from you, but they can't take those moments unless obviously you get CTE and they'll remember.
It's funny, but not funny. Now, so let's talk more, and that's why I'm glad I got Chris on here too. And let me allow me to butt in as well. So real quick, this year the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not one. This year's Dallas Cowboys team. Okay. Kellen Moore is gone. However,
sorry,
and that's what I'm alluding to right now. And I think Kellen Moore is kind of what happened to Leftwich. Okay, they're used as scapegoats. Okay, because let's not forget Byron Leftwich won a Super Bowl a couple years ago with Tom Brady. All right, this year Tom Brady was, he had some personal problems off the field. Wasn't up to par, or wasn't up to Tom Brady like. And let's be real, if it wasn't for Tom Brady, that Bucs team wouldn't have made the playoffs in the first place. So he meaning Brian Leftwich, was used as an scapegoat to be fired. And if I'm not mistaken, unless you guys are aware, I don't see him coaching anywhere right now. At State.
San Diego Chargers.
No. I'm talking about Byron Leftwich.
Yeah,
Leftwich.
you're right.
Now, Kellen Moore, obviously, Dak did not perform well against the 49ers, which I'm not complaining about. He did have some interception problems, okay? But that 49er playoff game, I don't want to put the whole – and I was at work, and no, I am not a Cowboys fan at the latest, but I found myself defending Dak because – and I know you and I talked once in a while about the penalty issue on this team. They still had 7 penalties. Mm-hmm. And then they had 3 costly penalties in session, like back to back to back, that led to the touchdown that ultimately clinched the game.
Well, here's the problem, and you make a good point, is that everybody's clapping their hands that Kellen Moore is gone. But what about your second receiver? You didn't have one. Michael Gallup didn't play well. Noah Brown made some terrible plays in the Jacksonville game. He made terrible plays in the San Francisco game. So you got to look at that. And then when Tony Pollard went down, Zeke is at that point. There's running backs have a low, short shelf life. Zeke is not the Zeke of 4 or 5 years ago. Right. And let's be honest, there wasn't a lot around Dak. There wasn't a lot, because I'm not saying all those interceptions were because of other players, but some of those, and I saw some things that bothered me. The tight end, Schultz not keeping his speed in bounds. Come on, that is simple.
Yeah, that's
I agree with you. We put too much on Dak. The same guy they're talking about Dak, they never said that about Romo, and Romo didn't win.
Right.
I'm just telling you. I'm being honest. Romo, to me, was overrated. And Dak, we're going to find out, because Mike McCartney is on the clock now.
Thank you. And I'm glad you brought that up. And I've told these guys, it was I was on their show the week that both our teams were eliminated in the playoffs. Now, what I want to say is this. The Giants and the Cowboys, we both made the playoffs, okay? But it's clearly the tale of 2 different teams, okay? Here we are, New York Football Giants, first playoff berth since 2016. We're just happy to be there. By us making the playoffs was a successful story. By us winning a playoff game was a bonus. But for the Dallas Cowboys, on the other hand, it was either Super Bowl or bust. Let's just call it like it is. And the fact that so much was put into that Tampa Bay game, I knew you guys were going to beat Tampa Bay. And it was kind of shocking to me, and I know I expressed this to these guys as well. The week leading up to Tampa, the Dallas Cowboy fan base already had that as a loss. I'm like, so you're saying they're going to lose? Oh, yeah.
What happened in Washington?
Right. Washington, and then also Jacksonville. I mean, that loss kind of carried some weight too. So I think the point I'm trying to make is there's a lot to go around to figure out what to do better. And the fact that now I can see I've never met Jerry Jones face to face. I never met McCarthy face to face. So I'm just going off a hypothetical right now. I can see McCarthy telling Jerry, "Hey, boss, all due respect, we did it your way, but now let me try it my way." I give him 2 years. I give McCarthy, some people tell me 1, but I'm feeling frisky. I'm giving McCarthy 2 years.
He has to get to a championship game
before exactly.
Because here's the thing, is that and I found it out when I was first came to the Cowboys. There's certain expectations of Dallas Cowboys when you walk in that building, because you're walking in the guys, like you said, the Roger Staubachs. You're walking with Ed Too Tall Jones, the Tony Dorsetts, and they've won championships. And, you see the Drew Pearsons, Hall of Famers, and you walk into that building, there's expectations. The expectations are high. And when you go places, I don't know if it's like that now, but we were like rock stars. We had to sneak in the back way because the lobbies were crowded. It was expectations, and you realize that it's not the same for you. When you walk on that field, it's not the same, because just like you, there are a lot of people who despise it. There are a lot of teams, there's a lot of organizations that despise the Cowboys, and we know that, and we understood that. So they're going to give us Buddy Ryan at Philadelphia. He despised the Cowboys. Old Pork Chop didn't like us, and we didn't like Pork Chop.
I still remember, I guess they run up the score on you guys.
They did.
And Jimmy went to go shake his hand, and Buddy Ryan went to the locker room, and then that was it. That rivalry was set.
Well, it was set before then. It was set when Jimmy coached Oklahoma State, and he got Oklahoma State put on probation. That's what Buddy was mad, because he was an alumni of Oklahoma State.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Buddy Ryan was a different dude now. He was, they were going to fight at the middle of before a game one time. We were up in Philly, and Jimmy was going to fight him. And it was some crazy stuff.
I did not know that.
We got to Arizona. Shoot, we beat them 35-0. And Jimmy, he was going to put it in on. That's how Jimmy was. He remembers stuff.
Now, let me ask you this. What about, say, Parcells? When you guys played against the Giants, what was that relationship? I know it's Tom Landry and, of course, also Jimmy. What was that relationship like?
It was business-like, I worked for Bill at the Cowboys. And
that's right.
Worst time of my life, but working for Bill. But it was.
You said the worst time of your life?
Yeah,
I can see that, because Bill is that detailed type guy.
No, it's just that he doesn't. Bill is a great coach, but not a great person.
Okay.
And there's a difference. But we always admired how, at that time, the Giants played, because they played tough defense and they ran the ball and they were physical. And later on, when we played them, Lawrence Taylor, Mo Carthon, we worked together. at the Cowboys. He said Taylor told him that they're going to be. He told everybody. He said you better get them now because in a couple years, nobody is going to beat the Cowboys because they're like us. They're going to be physical. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to be able to play defense. And Lawrence Taylor has said that. But there are a lot of similarities within the Giants and the Cowboys.
Now, of course, thank you so much for now. Before I let you go, you guys got one final question or word for them?
Well, you brought us back on to answer a question but you did that question and never got back to us because you forgot it. You asked Cowboy fans about their offensive coordinator. Well, we're happy, so we wanted to answer.
No, I mean, I just made a statement that they made Kellen Moore.
Schottenheimer is so-called the coordinator, but McCarthy's calling the plays.
Right. Well, we'll start talking about the wisdom tooth. That's what we call it on our show. Talking about Kellen Moore. The reason why the majority of the Cowboy fans, especially the guys on our show, was happy that Kellen left is because I had a young lady that followed me on TikTok, right? And she said, Chris, I learned something about the Cowboys. She said, I know you said whenever the Cowboys offense, you hear Dak Prescott say, kill, they're going to run the ball. And I said, well, what happened? She said they ran the ball.
Wait, breaking news.
It's not, we know he won.
Coach Dable, Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year, Coach Dable. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not even watching it. I'm getting off of my
that is kind of incredible.
Hey, did beat the Cowboys this year? Did Dable beat the Cowboys this year? Dable didn't beat the Cowboys.
Hey, apparently
sure didn't.
Well, hold on. Was McCarthy coach of the year? No. Okay, go on.
Did Dable beat the Cowboys?
McCarthy wasn't coach of the year because of expectations. He went 2 years, 12. He won 12 games 2 years in a row.
So,
right. And then his offensive coordinator got fired.
So they were just excited they won games.
Exactly.
Just real quick, if we're gonna talk about Kellen and why he got fired, like on the crew, let's not forget that they played together, him and Dak. There was only so far that he was going to be able to take Dak. Dak has hit a ceiling in most people's opinion. I think it's glass and he can break through it, but we're about to find out if McCarthy's worth that.
But I disagree with that. You have to. A lot of people around Dak. Dak is not going to win a Super Bowl by himself. No, but he has to have personnel that's going to help him win a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts has got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Sanders. That's why he's good. How many teams have a Patrick Mahomes?
No one.
One.
There's only one.
That's my point.
There's only
that needs people around him. We blame him, but if you gave him Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, I guarantee you his stats would be really good.
I mean, they're good without him.
And look, I do want to say something. And I'm going to talk about Coach Dable. Let's look at the past coaches that Daniel Jones have had.
That's true.
And let's look at the success that Daniel Jones had this year with this type of coaching staff. And one reason why I'm glad Coach Dable won Coach of the Year this year is that man can coach. That man picked up players off waiver wires and put a playoff team together. Mm-hmm. Now, once we start getting draft picks and free agents and
you had 2 draft picks in the top 10.
Well, this was our first year. This is our first year.
Man,
and they were 2 standout draft picks. So now, and because of the fact that we had to pick from the top 10, top five draft, and hopefully we don't have to worry about, because this year we draft from 25. So I'm really for me, coaching wise, and also there's some players around them, although we do have some issues with not issue, but the problem with re-signing Barkley and also Jones this year.
Yes.
Now, Jim, I know you got to go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And thank you so much for staying over. I know you said you had a certain amount of time. Before you go, we talked about a certain, or you mentioned a certain golf tournament.
Yes. I do a golf tournament for this Jim Jeffcoat and Friends, and it's going to be at the El Dorado Country Club on April 3rd, and it's online with NPH. And it's what NPH is it has orphanages in the Caribbean and in Central America, and it helps kids that obviously have nowhere to go, and it helps them they find them in trash dumps, to be honest with you. And what they do is they take them from elementary school all the way to college. If they so desire to go to college, they'll help them and get them prepared and give them a better life. And all the orphanages in those countries in Central America, Mexico, the Bahamas, Dominican Republic. So,
and that is awesome. And yeah, please send me the info. I'll share it. And Chris, if you want to be on my golf team,
hey, I got a 3,000 handicap, but hey, let's go.
I got a 20,001.
There'll be NFL players from all the teams around. There'll be from all around. Drew Pearson will be there. Tony Dorsett, Tall Jones, and they'll be all around the country that they'll come in and play in this golf tournament.
Awesome.
And
you'll have
Jim,
one with you.
Send me a flyer, and I'll definitely show it on the show and on my TikToks, and get a lot of people, a lot of support for you.
Okay.
And thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And can I hear it one time?
Yeah. Let's go, Little Giants.
I appreciate you. Have a good night.
Can't believe you make him do that. I can't believe
that is crazy, man. I can't believe that's nuts.
It was it was planned because I had Tiki Barber, and I wanted to talk about his Super Bowl experience, and also, like I said, apologize. I'm going to step out for 1 second, and I'm gonna let Gabe and Caden, you guys go ahead and talk a few minutes, and I'll be right back.
All right.
What's happening?
What's up? What's up, brother?
What's up?
Nothing, man. I see you still cheering on the worst franchise in the history of baseball.
I wouldn't say all that now, but I mean, you got your opinions,
Hey, man, you got to draw people outside sometimes. I know you're a big Yankee fan. I know you can't wait for baseball season.
Hey, but Yankees and Cowboys have a lot in common. I hope you know that.
Well, one's America's team. One used to own America.
One also won a ring in 2009, and one is still having 1900s, but yeah.
There ain't no salary cap for the Yankees. It's a little different.
But yeah, I know, because Cashman likes to pour money, just all day, every day. Even though he is a stupid GM and stuff like that.
Now I gotta ask: do y'all live in New York, or y'all like Sneaky, where y'all in Texas too?
No, New England.
You're in New England.
Yeah, so I get all the Boston fans here, so it's rough.
I believe that.
It's rough.
Yeah, and it's snowing up there, ain't it? It's snowing.
Not now. Not now, but it's been last Friday and Saturday. It was like in the negatives.
No shot. Geno Smith just won Comeback Player of the Year.
I saw that. I'm
sorry. You won Comeback Player of the Year from sucking for 11 years of your career? No, you didn't come back from anything. You did not come back from anything. That doesn't really make any sense. That makes no sense. Comeback Player of the Year for a player who's coming back. I thought it would be CMC, man.
Hi, Gabriel.
You really should CMC too.
Hi. Brian Daboll's the best coach in the NFL. You heard it here.
Yay! What's been up, bro?
I'm doing great.
It's been a minute since I talked to you, man. You know I follow you on Instagram. I always love your Instagram.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I love your Instagram, man. Your Instagram be fire to me.
I got a confession. I drank like 2 gallons of water that whole time. Okay. So when Jim was like, I gotta go. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go too.
Yeah, this is crazy. Geno Smith didn't come back from nothing. I don't even want to hear it.
Don't
crazy.
hate on the man. Don't hate on the
I'm
man.
gonna call it Saquon's gonna be man of the year.
No, I don't think
the argument for the comeback player of the year too.
Because I think he won. I don't think they would vote for him for both.
What channel is it on? ESPN or is it on?
It's on ESPN and Sneaky's on
Also,
Channel 5 down here too.
As
So
much as I don't want it,
Channel 5 here.
Channel 5.
Channel 5 and ESPN.
It's on ESPN too. I thought they had the hockey game on ESPN.
So I'm sorry, NFL Network and Channel 5.
Yeah, they got the hockey game on ESPN. They didn't
I think
announce
Dak's
MVP.
gonna win. I think Dak's gonna win Man of the Year. If I'm being honest.
Man of the year? Really?
Yeah, because
I thought it
he's
was
been
gonna be-
up for it for so many years. It's not even real. And also, he does a lot of stuff in the
Yeah,
community.
he does a lot. Dak does a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Saquon does stuff, but not as much as Dak does.
He gave me a new couch to sit on this playoff.
All right. So let me put the link out. And
So also, by the way, the people that are like hating on Brian Dable for winning the Coach of the Year, I mean, seriously, no one even thought we would make the playoffs. And we won a playoff game, something the Dallas Cowboys don't really do a lot, by the way. But we won a playoff game.
I think the fact that Dable did what he did with what he got, and the fact that we were in, what do you call it, salary cap hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and I had y'all winning 5, maybe 7 games. That's what
exactly.
I didn't have y'all doing much of anything, and the fact that you did what you did with 0 secondary. I mean, Darius Slayton is your number 1 receiver. Like, I got to give Dayball his credit. I mean, you worked with what you had, which wasn't much.
I just got a question for Gabe. I had a question.
I had us winning 17 games.
Yes, Chris. What's your question, Chris?
Did Dabo beat the Cowboys this year?
How is that? I mean,
answer my question. I'm gonna answer your question.
I'm sorry, Chris. I have a question. Do you get a ring from that? Like, do you get a Super Bowl ring?
Just like every Giants fan will not answer a question, because I will answer your question.
Chris,
okay.
Do you? Okay, I'll answer your question.
Answer his question, then ask him yours.
No, but do you get a Super Bowl ring from?
It's a no, but no. You slid the no in. I didn't hear you. What did you say?
All right, no, we did not beat the Dallas Cowboys this year.
Okay, that's all I asked. We don't get a ring. To answer your question, no, we don't get a ring for that.
Now I have a question for you, Chris.
And I won't
Do you
answer
get a Super Bowl ring for that?
No.
Okay, so let me make sure I have this right. All your Super Bowl rings still don't have any color on them, right? They're all
every Super Bowl trophy is the same color. Every Super Bowl trophy is the same color. It's silver. It looks just like yours. It looks just like yours.
I'm just clarifying.
He said they're all wearing down.
I want to clarify too.
That different that long.
They all look the same. They just got different names on them. Okay, so it's the same color.
Time out. Let me ask you a question. I asked this question to a fellow Cowboy fan, and he totally dodged it. The answer. Okay. Yes, a fellow Cowboy fan. So don't dodge this question, because then we're just going to call you guys Cowboy Ducks, because that's all you do is duck the answer to this question.
When have I ever ducked
and allow me to butt in. You're part of this as well. Okay. But I want Chris to answer this first. Would you rather sweep a team or win a ring?
Of course, win a ring.
Okay. Allow me. Gabe. Hold on. Pause. Allow me to butt in. Would you rather sweep a team or win a ring?
Of course, I'd rather win a ring.
Okay. Thank you.
We've been sweeping y'all so much, though. We keep sweeping y'all.
Exactly. And you haven't won a ring.
Won this game.
I know. So we need to lose to the Giants, then we'll get a ring. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I remember back in 2007 when You did sweep us.
And then
we won the game that mattered. So you know what I'm saying? That's when T.O. came out like, that's my quarterback. Making fun of him because that's my quarterback. So
I don't know why y'all get so offended when you say your coach won coach of the year. I just said he didn't beat the Cowboys. That's all I said. You guys get all emotional.
Why would I be offended?
You get all emotional.
Why would I be offended?
Little 12-year-old Gabe got emotional.
Listen, no, Chris.
Gabe's 15.
First of all, I'm 16. Thank you very much.
All right. When was your birthday? Wait, when was your birthday?
Get your facts right. And also,
Gabe, when was your birthday?
A couple months ago, Sneaky. It's in the summer. I have a summer birthday.
Okay.
Chris, so
you're 16 and a half. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Chris, I just have a question. Because of the fact that you haven't been able to celebrate that Super Bowl victory, that feeling in 28 years, do you have to celebrate moral victories like beating or sweeping the Giants?
No. I watch the show with you and Sneaky. Y'all talk about the Giants. And the first thing y'all say is, man, we got to beat the Cowboys. Oh, so when you lost the first game, we'll get them again on Thanksgiving. Then when you lost that one, you're like, we'll get them again next year. It's always next year for y'all too. You always try to bring up our past, but you never want to talk about y'all's past. Okay, your past is you can't beat the Cowboys.
Well, at the end of the day, Chris, we got as far as your team did this year, so I don't see what it did for you guys by sweeping us.
Oh, so we shouldn't win a game? Is that what you're saying? The goal is to win the game, right?
The goal is to win every game, but the reality is
when we play y'all, we win.
Okay. Wait, pause real quick. Danny got a good question here. Saquon got me a ring with my bet with Chris. Chris, you got
I paid my bet too. I paid my bet to Daddy. I'm like, look, I'm a Cowboy fan. If I make it, I can take it. Make it, take it. You know what I'm saying? Me and Daddy, Rue, you don't know this, but me and Danny bet before the season that Saquon, he said Saquon would have more rushing yards than Zeke. Okay. I said, no, Saquon will be hurt by week 3. I'm going to take that bet. Saquon stayed healthy this year.
Saquon won't be hurt by week 3.
He stayed healthy.
Yeah.
And what's so bad, I was trying to pay him in week 8. He wouldn't even let me pay him. I kept texting him, Daddy, what's the cash app? I'm going to pay you.
He wanted it to bleed out. That's what he did. He wanted it to bleed out.
So I paid him. And Danny can respond. He can respond in the comment. So I paid him. But Mike did pay me though, Sneaky. I bet him that the Cowboys would sweep, and he said we wouldn't, and we swept y'all again, so it's not new. And he literally cashed out me money. I'm like, all right, bro, appreciate it. So I broke even this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Gabe won't bet you that. He's gonna throw useless facts at me.
Man?
Yo, I know not many people in this are not gamers. I know this is a sports podcast, so I don't expect that. But does anyone know the game Hogwarts? Sorry, I said that wrong.
Man, you're like the third person to bring this up to me. And
really?
This game better be sick because I've heard nothing.
Are you seeing the controversy though? Are you seeing the drama that's going around it though?
No idea.
Basically people are getting don't like how it's basically like supporting trans and stuff like that.
What?
And basically
wait. How's a game supporting trans?
What are you talking about? They got trans in the game?
There's a character in the game that's trans, and then there was someone that had nothing to do with the game that like made comments like in the past. I don't know the celebrity or whoever, but basically.
Oh wait, Hogwarts. Is this is like a Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, yes, Harry Potter.
And the author of Harry Potter is like anti trans, right?
I don't know too much into it. I just know what's going on is someone created a website. Whoever streams the game, a group of people will go harass them to get off the stream or whatever, harass them.
Really?
And stuff like that. And obviously, but now it's the #1 game on Steam. It's breaking.
Of course it is. Controversy will drive buyers to get the damn game.
Yeah, right. No, but I heard that game. Understand?
Yeah, I heard
waiting for this game.
Okay, so here is the official. Here's the official problem. Apparently,
right,
I guess it's receiving conflict because of the Harry Potter author's views on transgender people.
Yeah, it's something to do with that.
Right.
Oh, so there's not trans characters in the game.
Yeah, there's a couple trans. Yeah, no, it's not really much. It's just a couple. And they're not even main characters. I'm pretty sure either.
Then I don't understand. She's against it, but she put them
okay.
in the game.
All right. Look, I'm old
So
school.
it says it debuts its first transgender character of Harry Potter franchise.
Wow.
I guess is in the game.
Right.
So I'm old school. Okay, I'm gonna call it like it is. Hate it, like it, love it. Right? How the hell are we supposed? How are we supposed to know that a character is trans? Does it say it in the bio?
That's the other thing.
Well,
I think it says it they introduce the character in the game kind of thing.
Right. Because there's a game I play, and in the bio it'll say the person was trans and whatever. So,
Okay.
That's a trick. It's a kids game, ain't it?
Oh, Hogwarts?
I mean, it's a kids game. It's Harry Potter.
No, kids could not beat that game. That game is as hard as Elden Ring.
All right.
So, definitely cannot kids. I think it's rated M too. I can look it on my Xbox. But
Harry Potter games rated M. That's wild.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, so now I don't even know the rating system. I'm gonna be honest.
M is mature. M is like Grand Theft Auto.
Kind of like
Grand Theft Auto got an M. You know what I mean?
All right. I haven't bought games in a minute, and my son Nick gets games, but he downloads them because he has that PS5 that you have to download the game. You can't buy the disc.
Oh, he has the digital version.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the only one we could get at the time.
Dude, it's crazy. I had to wake up at 1 a.m. in the morning to get my Xbox Series X.
I heard Xbox are easy to get now. So
they're PS5s are still hard to get. Xboxes are way easier to get now. But I'm talking when they first came out.
How different is it? Because how much different could it be?
Wait, it's rated E10 plus.
It depends. It depends on what game you're playing. A lot of the games they haven't come out with enough next gen games yet to really determine. I feel how different it is. Then again, though, it's a lot more efficient, faster.
Your FPS is always at 60 or above.
Yeah, that's the major difference. Is also the graphics. Yeah.
I can't imagine it being.
Right.
I'm still on my PS4, man.
Right.
I'm just hanging out. You know how long? I'm not waiting in line for a video console. I'm just not.
No. Well, Alami, what was the last Madden you played? What year was the last Madden you played?
I have last year's. I don't have this year's. I have last year's.
Okay. For me, I got to say it was I think the one when Beckham was on it. I don't even know which one was that. And to be honest, the only reason why
it hasn't changed much.
Because
it really hadn't changed much. It hadn't changed much. The buttons are still the same. The same buttons I've been playing since forever are still the same. It's all the same buttons. There's some differences, obviously. Gameplay is a little different, but the buttons are all the damn same.
Jaden, let me hear it one time, man.
Let's go Giants. Oh,
I appreciate you. So let's do a quick recap. And I know, Gabe, you didn't talk to Jim Jeffcoat. I'm pretty sure you probably didn't want to. Let's just.
Oh, I'm still on cloud 9 from Tiki last week. I'm good.
Yeah, right. Of course, you still with us, or you just watching the honors?
Oh, I was waiting till y'all started talking about something. I didn't know what y'all were talking about, bro.
We were talking about trans video games. What are you talking about, man? That's the new thing this year.
What?
That's crazy, man.
Well, that's why I was letting y'all have the transness.
I do have a joke, and the person that told me this joke was gay, so I think this is an LGBTQ appropriate joke. What does a binary samurai do to their victims?
What?
Binary samurai do to their victims?
A non-binary. Hear me out. A non-binary
I'm not ready for
samurai do to their victims?
Samurais, guys. I don't know. What do they do?
They slash them.
They slash them. That's ridiculous, bro.
Get it? That's the pronoun. They slash them. Get it?
Oh my goodness.
I'll be here all week. Really.
Oh my goodness.
I swear that's the worst thing I ever heard.
Bro, I'm telling that one at work tomorrow. That's gonna be my dad joke.
Oh my God.
I can't get the last 5 minutes of my life back.
We over here talking about trans games and
I was just like, you had the great Jim Jeffcoat on. We're talking about trans.
I don't even know. I mean, I appreciate Jaden bringing that on. Bringing that up because it's a topic that gets brought up now and then, and I think it's good to make awareness of it, and those that want to have a tolerance for it, and those that want to have acceptance for it. That's your choosing. I mean. But I just thought it was funny.
Why, Sneaky? Why do your jokes have to be so? Oh my God!
Funny?
Yes,
hello.
Funny, but just golly.
What? Well, Gabe, hold on, time out. You're right. I think what's important right now is that I have an addiction, and I'm addicted to soap. But don't worry, I'm clean now. So
stop, please.
And I mean, at times in my life, I suffered from anxiety over speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over them.
Yeah, it's time for me to say my outro. It's a little too deep for me.
Get it? I'm addicted to soap, but I'm clean now.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm getting over. I'm getting over.
We got it.
Okay. All right.
We got it.
Okay. I just thought I mean, when you got to explain the joke, it's not really funny, but I thought it was hilarious. I just got to work on the timing.
Can you say, Chris, do you got one more thing? Come on, please. Chris, your final thoughts.
All right, Chris, what are your final thoughts?
Thank you, Stephen, for this unique experience I've had tonight.
The Jim Jeffcoat or my jokes? Which one?
Thank you, Gabe, for being 16 and a half. Thank you, Rue, for being the greatest Cowboy fan in Austin, Texas. And that was Cowboys for life. Let's go, Giants. Ouch.
I appreciate you, brother.
He said ouch. He didn't say ow.
Yeah, it's close enough. Because it was painful for him to say that.
All right. Well, when Mike comes on, you got to give him a hard time, Got to give him a hard time about it.
Who?
When Mike comes on, you got to give Mike a hard time about it.
Why? What happened?
Oh, no. I just letting you give a pick at him about when he says the outro. It's very funny.
You know what? I'm going to put Mike on. Rue, you want to stick around or you got to go?
I can hang out.
Okay. Because
I gotta head out for the night though.
Okay. All right.
But
let me hear it one time, man.
Let's go Giants. Ow.
Appreciate you, Gabe. Be good. Mike, what's up, man?
What's up? Hold on. You ready?
Nice shirt.
Yeah.
Nice shirt. Looks good on you too.
Yeah.
Looks good on you. You finally got it, so now you can leave me alone.
You've been waiting on that one for a while, or what?
Well, so of course we had a friendly bet. Eagles, Giants. Eagles won, and he okay. And the thing about it, Mike's been bugging me for a free shirt for the longest time, and I'm like, all right, okay, let's make this bet, and they won.
Yeah, it's a nice shirt.
It's badass.
Yeah. I didn't want to get anything that said anything about the Giants, just so it's more supporting you.
I mean, it's a nice shirt. Make it count. No, I like it. The signature's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. And those of you that want a shirt, all you got to do is go to dresscomfy.com. She has the latest and greatest for Sneaky G Men merch. So please go check it out. Dresscomfy.com.
You ready for Sunday, Sneaky?
Oh, I'm going to be watching the game.
Yo, I got a question for you, Eagles fan.
What's up, man?
So I'm a gambling man myself, and I've been following this spread very closely because this is the first time I think ever that Patrick Mahomes is an underdog in the playoffs.
Probably better, yeah.
And I think the only reason for that is that y'all literally beat the Chiefs in probably every category as a team. You have a better O-line, you have a better D-line, you got a better secondary, you got better receivers. I think the only spot where y'all are not better than them, obviously, it's the quarterback position because nobody's got a quarterback like the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes stands alone. At least that's my opinion.
Okay.
What's crazy to me is that it's like a 1.5 point line, if I'm not mistaken. That was the last I saw. It was like 1.5 point line.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're not looking at much. You're looking like plus 115 or whatever for the Chiefs if you go money line on it. Which I mean, 1.5 you might as well. It's basically a pick 'em. Why are you not favored by more, considering the fact that I really don't know who Pat's throwing to? Because damn, I mean, he was pretty. He was
let's not forget about the tight end.
I mean, he's got Travis Kelce, but against this secondary with the safeties that they have in Philadelphia, I mean, it's gonna be a rough game. Now, everybody keeps bringing up the Dak Prescott game against y'all because he put up, that was one of his best games of the season. Was against that defense, and I mean, I'm torn because my head keeps telling me pick the Eagles. But my heart, it keeps me with them damn Chiefs because I hate y'all so damn much. I hate y'all so damn much. It is what it is. It's like ingrained into my mind, and I try not to let my heart affect my gambling decisions. But I'm just curious.
I hear you.
Do you really think your quarterback has enough? Because it's not like the other side are scrubs. Kansas City's got a good defense. They got a good pass rush, and they're gonna test y'all for sure. It's not like they're here by accident. But I don't expect there to be as many penalties in this game as there was in the last one. And I'm just curious, how do you win this game?
I mean, I guess, we have to hold Mahomes. I think, Reddick's going to get a few sacks on Mahomes, and it's definitely going to be a battle of the defenses. Both teams have good defenses. I do believe the Eagles do have a slightly better defense. But yeah, it's going to come down to the wire, but I do think we're going to win.
You think it's going to be close?
I really appreciate
100%.
how, allow me to butt in. I really appreciate how you prefaced that question, because I think what's going to take Kansas City over the edge is the improvisation that Patrick Mahomes has on the football field. Bottom line.
On one leg?
Even on I don't even think that leg
now,
is
time out.
Wait,
look at that injury. That's a 6 to 8 week injury. It's only 4 weeks later. It looked like his leg was broken in half.
But let's not forget,
ugly.
Let's not forget, Hurts' shoulder is also
hurt.
Sneaky. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's been some time now.
It's not.
How long ago was that shoulder?
That shoulder.
I know it's just
that was over a month ago.
But the shoulder, Mike, let me finish my thought, Mike. Let me finish the thought. That shoulder, if I'm not mistaken, is a 4 to 8 week healing process.
He's good.
So
I don't think he's definitely had. If we're talking about time, he had a week off. He's had a few weeks off before that. I mean, he had a week off, and then he played that one game. He had the last game of the season.
He played against the Giants, and then he played again. Yeah,
exactly.
And let's be fair. He really wasn't challenged in the San Francisco 49er game.
He hasn't been challenged all playoffs. He hasn't been challenged all
playoffs. They only played the 2 games. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he really, I
mean,
bro,
should
in
have been
both
better
games,
than it was.
I think he was under 200 yards. He was under 200 yards in both games, if I'm not mistaken. Or like right at 200, like barely cracked it, if not didn't crack it in both games. So he didn't have to throw much at all. And against San Francisco, that was just a pathetic excuse for a football team that day, man. They were decimated. They were down to their 4th string quarterback. It's like, dude, even what Brock Purdy was able to do was miraculous. That was insanity. And I still can't get over the fact that my Cowboys just couldn't get the job done when our defense finally showed up against a team that was really good. And it's just like my offense just laid an egg, but we're not here to talk about that. I just want to know. I just want to know. I don't want to relive this agony that I went through 2 weeks ago. But I can't count out Mahomes because in my head it's like counting out Tom Brady in his prime, the three of them that he had, and it's just like. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, is Juju gonna play? And if he does play, is he gonna be effective? You got
I think Juju's gonna play.
So Juju's playing.
I think he was in that
But I know they don't have McCole. They have no Hardman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not like they had.
But they do have that running back. They do have that running back.
They got Clyde Edwards-Helaire back, which I honestly think Pacheco is probably more dynamic than he is because Pacheco's been pretty. Pacheco, I wish they'd use him more. I really think he could be Andy Reid's next Brian Westbrook, but we'll see what happens in the future. But it's like one of those situations where, man, I really think that it's like it's the Eagles' game to lose in my mind. Like, honestly, when I look at this is y'all's game to lose. Pat already got his. Pat's going to go. Pat, to me, right now, is probably the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback better than Patrick Mahomes. But and this ain't. I don't think it's going to be his last time.
Pause. How can you say that when Brady just retired?
Exactly.
When it was Brady, there's a bunch of times in Brady's career where I can point to where people didn't even think he was the best quarterback in the league. People didn't think Tom Brady was like the greatest thing ever. People always had Peyton Manning over him. In the beginning, first 3 Super Bowls, they didn't credit those to Brady. They credited those to Belichick and the defense. That Brady put them in positions to win and this, that, and third. But it was like Brady didn't become Brady until later on. I feel like Brady didn't become Brady until like after like 2007 and beyond. And Brady is an anomaly. But even then, Brady was never considered like the best. I feel like he was better older than he was like during his like so-called prime. It's kind of crazy to think about Brady. But
when Brady won his first 3 Super Bowls, okay, he had already outplayed Peyton Manning. And that's a question that I keep bringing up. At what point do we judge quarterbacks? How do we evaluate quarterbacks? Is it the Super Bowls? Is it the stats? What do we go off of? Now, if we go off granted, now that Brady's retired, if we go off the stats, Brady has every stat, under the sun, right? But at the same time, you got to remember something, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
You got to remember something. Quarterbacks are paid to win. How we grade quarterbacks is different. How we grade running backs, how we grade quarterbacks is different. How we grade wide receivers and defensive linemen, offensive linemen, cornerbacks, safeties. It's a different position, and there's different roles in that position. They're the one that touches the ball just the amount of time as the center does, and they're paid to win. And for you to say that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all times, when you lived in an era of Tom Brady, undebatably 7-time Super Bowl champion, 10-time Super Bowl appearances. He won the AFC 3 times and the whole thing 7 times. And put Mahomes in that realm and I understand. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 35.
35. Okay, so you did miss Montana, and I miss Bradshaw, so I know you missed Bradshaw too. Yeah. I was alive during Montana, and for the longest time, because Brady only had 3 Super Bowls, he was in the same breath of Bradshaw and Montana. But when he hit that 4th one, he was in the same breath. But because he's been to more Super Bowls than Bradshaw, Montana, and then Elway, then he started becoming that all-time quarterback. And then when he won his 5th one, undeniably was crowned the greatest. I mean that's just my opinion, of course. But go ahead.
Here's my thing. Winning obviously is a big part in it. But let's just take your example, right? Like, let's talk about Terry Bradshaw.
Okay.
Terry Bradshaw or Montana. It's Montana, right? And you really don't even have to think about it.
Only reason why is because I've seen Montana play.
But for what they were doing, and like the game was different back then, so I'll give them that. But even then, Like, let's not say Montana. Let's say John Elway. Are you taking John Elway or are you taking Terry Bradshaw? Because I bet the answer to that question is John Elway. Even though he didn't win as much.
But see, okay, look, again, what are we equating their wins? I mean, how are we evaluating these quarterbacks? Is it Super Bowls or is it now? Let's keep in mind now. Terry Bradshaw won those 4 Super Bowls in the 70s, which that era was different than Joe Montana's era in the 80s. And then Tom Brady, and then we'll even throw in Troy Aikman in the 90s, right?
Okay.
Because that was a different era than when Joe Montana played. And now you have Brady in a different era than Aikman, Montana, and Bradshaw. So, but I want to throw a little curveball at you, because what really gets mixed, or I would say, AKA 6ix9ine would say, get lost in the sauce, is the fact. What did we do with Dan Marino? What do we do with?
That's funny, because I was going to bring up Dan Marino.
Yeah, what are we going to do with Dan Marino? What are we going to do with Phillip Rivers? What are we going to do with those quarterbacks that had the numbers, but didn't even make it to a Super Bowl, barely made it to a conference championship game? What do we do with those?
I mean, a lot of times, man, it is the eye test too. And I'm going to answer this real quick, but I'm going to justify the Patrick Mahomes thing real fast.
Okay, go ahead.
Because if we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, right? Because Tom Brady is unequivocally, a lot of people are, and I'm not going to argue with you because Tom Brady is that man. But if we take their careers, right? Tom Brady, where he was at, where Patrick Mahomes is at right now, if they both started at the same time, it's Pat. It's Pat. If you look at how many years has Pat been in the league? What is it, 7 now, 6 now? How many years is it?
2017. Yeah, I think he was 2017. Oh,
6 years. 5 AFC championship games, 3 Super Bowl appearances. What did Tom Brady do in those first few years? Is it close? But when he was winning Super Bowls in the beginning, were we talking about MVP Tom Brady? I don't remember that. I don't remember anybody ever being like, Tom Brady is the greatest thing we've ever seen throw a football in his first 6 years. Right. I can say that for Patrick Mahomes. I can say that because I've seen that dude do some of the most amazing things I've ever seen anybody do with a football. And I'm not even a Chiefs fan. Believe me, I wish they'd have never left Dallas and we could have had Pat. I'd take him gladly. But when you look at it, if we're going to talk about who's better, like whose team was better, yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But who's better? Like if we're looking at Troy Aikman, Dan Marino, it's Dan, man. Dan was that dude. Troy was a winner. Troy was a great quarterback. Troy was able to overcome some things that,
To be fair, they would call Troy as a manager, because Troy, let's be honest, that offense was a run-first offense.
That's right.
And, Troy never threw more than, 24 touchdown passes in the season. There's been many seasons. I mean, if you go to his stats, he has multiple seasons of more interceptions and touchdowns, even during and after, of course, before, because you guys were horrible before, during the Super Bowl runs, and then even after. And the touchdown, and that kind of goes along with what I'm going to say, the touchdown interception ratio was very close, if you will. So with Troy Aikman. Now, again, that was a different era.
It was. And Dan didn't have the run game that Troy had. I mean, we had Emmitt Smith in our backfield. I mean, come on. You got Daryl Johnson and Emmitt Smith back there. We were pounding the rock down the throat.
Yeah, and that being said, tell me who's in the dynasty of the Patriots, who was the big running back back then?
In the beginning, it was like Corey Dillon.
Well, no, Corey Dillon was part of the third one. That was the only time because remember, he was with the Bengals before that.
I will say, Tom Brady throughout his career has not had a slate of weapons.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
He's never had, until Randy Moss got there. It was like Deion Branch, he didn't have no slate of weapons. So, I mean, I'll give him that. But you can't, these guys were winning games on the backs of their that defense, though. We can't deny that. The coaching ability of Bill Belichick and that defense is what carried them to the first three. The man has 4 Hall of Fame careers. If we're being, 3 Hall of Fame careers, if we're being honest. Like you break down Tom Brady's career, he's got 3 different Hall of Fame careers. It's insanity what he was able to do. He's really an anomaly in the sport. But if I'm looking at that position in its purity, I'm thinking to myself, I know after the fact, I know everything I need to know about these guys. If I'm going to build a team from scratch, give me Pat. There's no one I'd rather have. There's not a quarterback that's ever played this game that if I'm looking at it at a pure, this guy is a quarterback. This guy can play with.
So now let me ask you this:
with weapons, without weapons, pass the ball around. Like, how many different receivers did he hit against the Bengals? We were hearing guys from practice squad against a solid Bengals team. Like the man is proven that he's
let me ask you this: this weekend, this Sunday, he has a chance to win his 2nd ring.
Yep.
Right now, his record in the Big Dance is 2-1. All right, and who did he lose to? Tom Brady. Yes. He lost to Tom Brady, right? Yeah. So I can almost see his stature being elevated if he were to leave there with a 2nd ring. But if he lets this opportunity slide, it's going to change. I mean, let me ask you this: will that change your perspective of Patrick Mahomes?
No, because I think he'll be back. I don't think you can keep this man out of this. I don't think you can keep this man out of this game. As long as Andy Reid is his coach and Eric Bieniemy just keeps getting shafted on jobs and stays with Kansas City, and even without Eric Bieniemy, this man did so much with so little this year. And considering what he had, these guys don't have some elite run game. They have Travis Kelce. But outside of Travis Kelce, there is no consistency in the weapons that this dude had. A lot of people thought he was going to fall off, and it's looking like he's going to win MVP without Tyreek Hill.
So it looks like Rondé Barber made the Hall of Fame.
Good for Rondé.
Yeah, Rondé Barber. Hopefully T can get in there too. I need to help him with that. Now, let me ask you this. So, okay, and I'm going to jump on another sport, and then it'll probably come. It'll feed into what you're saying.
Okay.
So the fact that Mahomes is I'm not going to put it out there. Let's say he has more. I don't even because I don't want to put in the universe because I want the Chiefs to win. Because I do not want y'all to win another Super Bowl.
And it's not good for y'all's health, man. Y'all just be eating poo in the street, and it's just not healthy.
Right. I mean, this don't even look appetizing.
It's gonna happen now.
And look, and Mike just said it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna eat horse shit. They're gonna eat
another one. I mean,
no. You're talking about the horse poop. You were like,
we're not doing that again.
It's a bit nutty.
No, that's not me.
So I mean, my thing is this: we put LeBron on a pedestal. Okay,
and I knew you were going to go to this.
I had to, and it's not me. I'm MJ. I'm Team MJ for life. Okay. However, because I saw MJ play, and because of the fact that LeBron went to so many finals, but only won 4, we have, and now, and the fact now that he passed Kareem on the all-time points list. I mean, that's another feather for his cap. And I can understand why people will say now he's the greatest. But when you look at players like Bill Russell and Jordan, and let's throw Pippen in there too. Why not? Right. But I mean, if I'm saying greatest, let me stop. Let me take Pippen out of that equation. But Bill Russell, Pippen, Tim Duncan, Kobe, those players, right? I mean, I still have them ahead of LeBron. Now,
do you really?
I think I do. I think championships are.
Wait, Pippen ahead of LeBron?
No. I said I take Pippen out. No. Let me clarify that. No.
Hold on.
Who I have? Okay, hold on. Who I have, in my opinion,
ahead of LeBron.
Okay. Bill Russell.
Okay.
Jordan.
Okay.
Kobe.
Okay.
and I'll say Tim Duncan right off
You
the
got
cuff.
4
Without
players
me even
ahead of
thinking
LeBron.
about it, I would say those 4. I'm a big Tim Duncan fan. I'll be honest.
That's huge.
I'm a big
nobody.
Tim Duncan fan.
Nobody says Tim Duncan.
I know.
Nobody outside of San Antonio says Tim Duncan.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I hate the Spurs. I'm a Mavs fan. Hate the Spurs. Never liked the Spurs, but I've always respected the hell out of Tim Duncan. And nobody gives props like that. That's
yeah. And I'll tell you right now, I probably lost some friendships by just me saying that right now on the show. but the reason why I say that is because right now, and I don't like comparing, saying that Patrick Mahomes is the next LeBron. No, but Mahomes, that you have to win multiple championships to get to that status.
Of course he is.
You have to. You have to win multiple championships to get to that Tom Brady-like status.
Mahomes won MVP.
Who won MVP?
Hell yeah, he deserved that shit. Absolutely.
Wait, who did?
Absolutely. Mahomes.
That's all right, y'all, because Jalen Hurts is going to be the
Come
Super Bowl
on, man.
MVP. Super
Come
Bowl
on
MVP
now.
is more important than league MVP.
Let's get out of here with this nonsense.
So now remember what you say now, Mike, because if Mahomes wins the game and becomes Super Bowl MVP, you're going to have to eat those words.
You said what?
If he becomes a Super Bowl MVP, you're going to have to eat those words. And if they win, he will be.
And let's talk about the Eagles for a second.
Well, yeah, because
let's talk about the Eagles, okay? Let me oh crap.
Y'all been BSing for the past 10 minutes, so let's talk about them.
BS, and we've been talking knowledge. You should have been taking notes, brother. What you talking about? So Julian Love basically said about your coach, Sirianni, who I despise of, by the way.
Who should have been coach of the year. Wasn't even
no, he shouldn't have. He should have not have been coach of the year. What? You know what? Yeah. What the hell for? You got a stacked team, okay? And basically, Julian Love, who I defend, I will back this statement up. I second what he said. He said Sirianni's best coaching strategy this year is just basically stepping aside, letting the players do what they do.
Honestly, if there was GM of the year, if there was a GM of the year award, you can have that one. You can have the GM of the year award because damn, he did a great job. But your coach is one of the reasons I think you're going to lose that game.
I think right now, honestly, the Eagles has to win because of the stacked team. Who are your 2 wide receivers?
AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Go to the third.
Who is? So tell me about your defensive front.
What do we got? Cox, Graham, Hassan Reddick,
Donovan Masu. Okay. Tell me about your corners.
Slay, Bradbury, Maddox.
Okay, and tell me about the linebacker you got from the Saints.
Gardner Johnson.
Exactly. You have a stacked team. You tell me what coaching ability I could coach that team and win y'all a Super Bowl.
We're just leaving out your tight ends. Your tight end, you got some good ass tight ends.
Right. And who's your tight end?
Dallas Goedert.
I could coach that.
And then you got a stable of backs. You got Bart Scott. What's his name?
I'd rather have Sirianni.
I always do that. Boston Scott, Miles Sanders.
Mike, I'm giving an example. Really?
Giants killer, Boston Scott.
Calm down. You're kidding.
It's true.
Ain't no such thing. No, I don't, because it ain't true.
It is. Look up the stats versus the Giants. Look up the stats.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it honestly don't.
But either way, is any of that even going to matter on Sunday?
You hope right now. You should hope he's a Kansas City Chiefs killer. That's what you should be hoping right now.
True story.
So, if you want to be a Giants killer, okay, that's fine. But if y'all don't beat, I'm telling you, Mike, if y'all don't beat the Chiefs, you better come on my show Tuesday. You better. If y'all don't, even if y'all beat the Chiefs, you better come on my show. Win or loss, you will be the first one on the show.
What if there's a bigger Eagles fan on than me?
Win or loss. I hope it's Tuesday night. Now, That being said, let me hear one time, Mike.
Hey, Sneaky, appreciate you. You know, the next time I see you, the Philadelphia Eagles will be 2-time Super Bowl champions.
You better hope so.
They will. But you know, until then,
so.
go Birds and let's go Giants out.
Yeah, you better hope. He better hope so.
No kidding.
Because if
No
they
kidding.
not,
I was really wondering how you felt about them signing Jalen Hurts also. Because I'm not completely sold. I think he was doing really well towards the end of the season, but it was like, if this was Dak Prescott, everybody would be talking about how he's a product of his environment. Because that's all I heard throughout Dak's rookie season.
now you come on.
Oh, snap.
I got 4 minutes left.
There you go.
And that shows how much you love me.
Allow me to butt in. This is Big Blue Ant. He's one of my best friends.
What's going on,
bro?
Ironically, he's going for the Eagles.
Are you a Giants fan?
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming Big Blue Ant. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the division. I'm not mad at you. I'm surprised, but I'm not mad at you.
Well, he lives there, so
it's reverse psychology.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right.
That's right. Go,
so
go
Eagles. I heard Dable.
Fly birds fly, huh?
I heard Dable got Coach of the Year.
Oh, I didn't even see it. That was on at 9:00 tonight. Shoot, I missed it.
Yeah, I think what you call it. Hold on, what am I watching now? Oh, they're showing Man of the Year. I want to say Saquon's going to win it.
What, the comeback player?
No, Geno Smith won that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That just shows that whole thing is fixed. That's garbage, dude. The comeback player of the year should have comeback player of the decade. He's been on 11 different teams.
Right.
I mean, I'm not mad at him, but it's like he didn't really come back from anything.
That's
like
what I mean.
CMC or Saquon or whatever. Like, it should have been somebody else. He didn't come back. He's been here the whole time.
You come back from an injury. You didn't come back from being an NFL player. You're already here. That's what I mean about the way everything's going today in society and sports. Like, they're dumbing down football. I'm pretty soon, everybody's like, oh, the Pro Bowl was great because they flagged football. Be prepared, people, because that's going to end up being the NFL.
That Pro Bowl thing, I can't stand it. I just take the game away. Take the game away completely.
You know what?
Bring me the little NFL Olympics like we used to have. Throw 225 on the rack. Let's bring out some of the biggest dogs in football. Let's see who can put that thing up the most. Let's see who the fastest man in football is. Let's see who can throw the ball 100 yards. Like, let's do that.
But you know what? I DVR'd the whole Pro Bowl, right? And so I was watching it because I didn't expect that I was going to watch the whole thing, and I didn't want to sit down and watch the whole thing. I actually enjoyed this year's Pro Bowl. Call it what you want. It had 3 games, 3 flag football games, plus little intermingle mingling with, other challenges and whatnot. And I'm not saying I enjoyed it because Eli won, the whole thing. But
well, I want to know what you're smoking first of all, because if I'm being 100% honest, the dodgeball game was more exciting than the Pro Bowl itself.
The dodgeball was fun. I did, yeah. I like.
Who got smacked right in their face? Like,
it was
Saquon. Saquon caught one right to the jaw, like bam.
Really?
Yeah, he
was hard.
I actually missed that one. I went to the bathroom during that one.
Yeah, that was an against the rules. You're not allowed to hit somebody in the face, so he was actually able to stay in after.
Oh, come on.
Oh, that's
you know this new thing they're doing now? You know they can't drag down quarterbacks anymore? You know they're starting to do that now?
Yeah.
Because of what happened to whose ankle?
Wow, Dak Prescott won Man of the Year.
Yeah, Dak Prescott won Man of the Year. There you go, baby. Nice.
I think what he did with obviously the charities because of his mom and his brother.
Well, he does a lot for mental health. That's why he wears that ask for help on the arm.
Like I like Dak Prescott, and I think I truly believe he's been given dealt a bad hand with the situations he's been dealing with. Because I mean, granted, you had one of the best offensive lines. They're still good, but
Wait a minute. This year we had one of the best offensive lines. I had a rookie at left tackle. I lost Tyron Smith. I lost Terrence Steele. I was playing. No, stop.
But they were still one of the better lines in the league, though. I mean, you got to look considering.
It was better than some of the other lines in the league, but
I
it's
didn't
not
say
like
great.
There was a lot of chemistry issues in the beginning.
Well, I hate to cut this conversation short, but I do got to let you go. Allow me to butt in. Let me hear one more time.
This is hard. Okay. Let's go. Ow.
Appreciate you. And even though it was late, better late than never.
I didn't want to I didn't want to ruin a Cowboy show.
Right. Well,
so
I did. So.
Oh, it's you have no choice.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have a choice, but you don't. Whatever.
Yeah. Let me hear one time.
Let's go Giants. Ow. Love you, brother.
I appreciate you. Love you too, man. I'll probably give you a call tomorrow. Be good.
All right.
Guys, today was a good day. Thank you to Jim Jeffcoat for coming on and sharing his, Super Bowl memories. Really do appreciate that. And yes, he is my friend. I mean, he may not admit it, but But anyway, all kidding aside, enjoy the Super Bowl this year. Even if your team's not in it, go Chiefs and let's go Giants. Ow!
Is this thing on?
It's your boy Stefan, aka SneakyG.
Yeah. Lyrical assassin.
Let's go Giants.